Hey, so some of you guys have asked me about how I do my follow-up system and how it works for me and what I do. And so I think I've just decided it's probably going to be easier for me to just make a really quick, very informal, please forgive me, very informal video to share with you exactly what I do with my follow-up. So the first thing is if I am booking appointments, I create appointment cards for everybody that I'm booking for. So that is the first thing that I do. So I'm going to start it from there and then I'll take you through the follow-up. So when I book an appointment, as many of you do, I work from a lot of leads, and so I reach out to a lot of people, and once they have booked an appointment with me, I create an appointment card for them, and I keep all of my appointment cards in a little accordion folder just like this. This is awesome size. I've tried smaller. It's just too smaller, makes it too, I don't know. I like this size because I can actually open it up and it's easier to work with. So on my little tabs in here, I put in, so every month I change out the dates that I'm holding appointments. So this is April 6th, April 13th, April 27th, and so on and so forth. So when they book, so like let's just look at April the 6th right now. I have, I think, 3 parties booked for April the 6th. So they each get an appointment card, and on the appointment card I have her name, her phone number, where she's booked because I work in a lot of different areas, the date and the time. I also put on here her pre-profile information and then her guest information. So as I'm following up with her guest and as I'm following up with each person, then I write in there. So this is my method to my madness. The pink highlight means that I have sent her her confirmation that she is scheduled for her specific date, her specific time, and I have sent her the link so that she can fill out all of the information about her skin, and she gives me the name and phone numbers of all of her guests. So that means I have done that part of it. That's what that pink highlight means. And then when I put a check mark by her name, that means she has responded back to me. And then by her guest name, I have Misty and Hannah. That means I have sent them their, I sent them a text message introducing myself. I send them a list of questions to answer about their skin. And then when they respond back to me, I put their information here. Now, as they respond more and more between the time that I have initially reached out to them and as the appointment is getting there, I will make other tick marks on here, and it's just a good indicator to me that she's been a great communicator with me throughout the whole process of her booking an appointment. So that is what I do. So we've got, and so I know, every few days on my calendar, I need to follow up with people that are on my calendar. Make sure that the people who have booked an appointment have confirmed it. So like Kimberly, she has not filled out her form yet. So today I know that I need to send her a little friendly reminder to say, hey, Kimberly, don't forget, you have to fill out your form or I will cancel your appointment. And yes, I do that. Because my calendar is very important to me and yours should be too. So if someone is not confirming with you, then you have permission to send them a message and say, if you cannot confirm your appointment by this day, then I will have to reschedule you. Your doctor's appointment, your doctor's office does that, your hairstylist does that, everybody does that. So your appointment, your calendar, your time is just as valuable as your doctor. So don't forget that. So anyway, so I have April 6th here. So I know that that is coming up really quickly and I've got to stay on top of those people. April 13th, I've already started sending confirmations for April 13th. And every day I pull out everybody that's in April 13th and I'm like, okay, who has not answered me back? But also on Hannah's here, I've talked to Hannah, but I have not talked to her guest because I don't have a check mark by her name, those names. So I know that the next step is mine. And I'll tell you what, you guys, when I go to an appointment, and I pull this appointment card out, and I've got notes written about any conversation that I've had with her or her guest, they're like, oh, she is listening to me. And you know what? People want to be heard, so don't forget that. I know last month I had a girl who had, she filled out the little form, and I asked her, you know, have you ever used Mary Kay products before? And she said, yes, I have, and I wasn't impressed. And I'm like, oh, well, you will be after you go through my beauty experience. And I wrote that on her card, that she was not impressed. So the day of, I was like, okay, I don't remember her name right off the top of my head, so we're going to call her Sarah. I was like, okay, Sarah, so when we were communicating, you had said that you tried Mary Kay in the past. You didn't have a great experience. Can you tell me a little bit about that? And so, you know, she told me, like, I wanted to be upfront with her. I wanted her to be upfront with me. And so it was my goal to impress her, not only with our products, if you're not impressed with them, then maybe you're dead. I don't know. But our products obviously speak for themselves. But I think a lot of times when people come up with an answer like that, it is the experience that they had. And guys, I want us going into every single appointment where the women, when they walk out of there, it was the most wow experience they've ever had in their life. That's why we do those extra little things of lighting the little tea lights and putting them on the table, having our towel warmer there, doing the little, and these are, you don't have to do those things, but these are things that I do. Even if you're not going to do those things, maybe give them a little piece of candy or something like that on the table, something to make them feel extra special. But it is very important for them to know that they are heard and that you are asking them questions. As they respond back to me with their skincare concerns and issues, I always respond back to them. And if they have a specific problem, I'll, create a text message for that. Or if there's no concerns, and I'll just say, you know what, this is what we're going to do. We're going to customize a skincare system for you. And then you're going to have the option of 4 treatment plans. And so people want to feel special. So that is their specialized treatment. Now, after the fact, what I do is let's just say I party on Saturday. And so they've been to a party on Saturday, and I want to follow up with them. I want to follow up with every single person, whether they bought product or not. I want to follow up with every person, even if they may have been a little snarky. It does not matter. That is their issue. I don't have to take on her issue. So it is my goal to follow up with every single person. And I always say to them, let's see, hey Jacqueline, this is Christy Dunn with Mary Kay. Thank you so much for coming on Saturday. I, just really enjoyed meeting you. How did your skin feel after your experience? And they always respond back. And I love that, because it can create a conversation. And a lot of times what it does is it will create that next step. If they didn't buy something at their beauty experience, then they end up making an order with me either way. So some people respond, some people don't. So what? I don't take it personal. Now, if a person does respond or does make a purchase with me, I put them into a system just like this. This is separate. This is for my appointments, but I put them into a system of where I am following up with them and making notes on their on this guy, on their customer profile. In 2 days, I'm going to follow up and say, hey, Jacqueline, how do you love your new cleanser and moisturizer? She says, great. And I'm like, okay, that's fabulous. In 2 weeks, like she goes into that next file. And basically, it's this thing, only it's 1 through 30, and I put them in for the date that I know I need to follow up with them. So in 2 weeks, that would be around April 15th, I would pull out her card on April 15th and say, oh, Jacqueline bought a cleanser and moisturizer from me. I need to follow up with her and possibly get back in front of her to make sure her skincare is working well for her if I didn't book a second appointment. And so from there, she'll go on my PCP list, that's Preferred Customer Program list, and I will follow up with her every quarter. And that's basically how I keep track of how I follow up with my clients. When I do the Preferred Customer Program, I always print out a full copy of every customer that I have put on there, and I make notes. As I am following up, I make notes about what she is doing. And if you want a complete system like this for every customer that you have, you can do it with this. You can do it on the My Customers app. You can create these little cards for every person. There's so many different options, but for me, the key is follow up, follow up, follow up, and follow up. There is a fortune to be made in the follow up. And on the front end, you want to make sure that the party is going to hold. It is booked, it is held, it is pre-profiled. On the back end, you want to follow up, make sure she had a great time within, I typically will do it on Monday. Some people do it on Sunday. I just typically don't work a whole lot on Sunday, but on Monday, I'll send out the follow-up from on Saturday. And then in a couple of days, specifically if she has purchased product. If she has not purchased product and she's in good dialogue with me, sometimes I send her a little coupon and tell her, you know, on your first purchase, you can enjoy whatever percentage off when you make a purchase with me in the next 10 days. And here's my website. And I have that coupon if you would like to have that. I will send it to you. You can create your own so that you can put your own percentage and your own website on there. But it's something that I created on Pick Collage, and it's easy for me to grab and send out. So I hope that helps. You know, some people, I will say, you know, I see, you know, 60 to 100 faces every single month. Not everybody goes into that PCP list or that where I'm following up with them on a regular basis. I typically do not throw any customer profiles away. Believe it or not, I have boxes of customer profiles because for a short period of time, I threw customer profile cards away. And then I had a few people that came back to me months later and say, hey, this is Emily. We met at that beauty experience and I'd like to get X, Y, and Z that I tried that day. Do you remember what shade of foundation I was? No, because I threw her profile card away. Otherwise, I could just go back into my little boxes where I keep my old archived profiles and I could have found her information. So that's the reason I don't throw any of those profile cards away. I hope this helps. Please let me know if you have any questions. It is not very scientific. And girls, you all always know I am always open to your suggestions. I learn as much from you guys as you do from me, hopefully.